Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about my birth story. It is the birth of my second child, my second daughter. She is right there making funny noises, so don't be confused if you hear something weird. That's her. She's sleeping right now. So let's jump right into my birth story. My due date was the 16th of January 2020. On that day, I actually woke up at 3 a.m. with contractions. I went to the bathroom, came back, and I had like 2 contractions. I was like, oh, what is this? This is interesting. Well, I will go back to sleep and see what happens. And I could not fall asleep because I had contractions every 10 minutes. And I was actually focusing on them, and I got a little bit excited. I was like, wow, maybe this baby's gonna come on its due date. This is so exciting. This is awesome. I was waiting until the morning, and around 4:30-ish I had a bowel movement, and my bloody show actually came, like this the mucus plug. It's like the bloody mucusy thing came out, a good chunk of it. And then again I had another bowel movement at around 6 a.m. and my contractions got a little more intense. And when my husband woke up, I actually told him to not go to work because I have been having contractions for hours now, and they're like 10 minutes apart. I was losing my mucus plug and the bloody show, and so I told him maybe this is it. Then in the morning I went into the bathtub hoping that the contractions would pick up a little more. That was around 8 a.m. and actually they started dying down. So I was a little bit disappointed, and I was kind of feeling nauseous too. And then at like 8:20 I was like so tired because I didn't sleep half the night. I was like, okay, I'm going back to bed because the contractions stopped now. And I was really disappointed because my husband stayed home from work and everything, so yeah. And then around 12 p.m. I lost a good chunk of the mucus plug and like the bloody mucusy thing. And I was like, well, actually something is opening down there, so it must start. Maybe it started continuing tonight, and then the baby will come in the night. So in the afternoon at like 2:40 p.m. we went on a walk, and I hoped that the contractions would pick back up. I had lots of pressure down there, like even more than before, and that mucusy, bloody mucusy plug thing continued to come out. But then in the night and the evening I did not have a single contraction. Nothing happened, so I was a little disappointed. The next day, that was the 17th of January, I was 40 plus 1. At around 3 p.m. we actually went grocery shopping. My husband stayed home again because he only has half a day on Fridays, so he was like, there's no point of going back. So we went grocery shopping, and we do a big shopping spree on Fridays to get everything for the week. So we walked quite a bit, and I had this big pressure down there that I felt like my pelvis was exploding, and my sacrum there was so much pressure on it, and I really felt uncomfortable. When we got home, I just couldn't stand still or sit still. I was always moving around and swinging my hips, and I was sitting on the bouncing ball, and I just couldn't sit quietly or stand quietly. But I didn't have any contractions, so that really annoyed me. Then the next day, on the 18th of January, again I was 40 plus 2, again at 3 p.m. some contractions started, but they were like between 10 minutes and 2 hours apart. So the whole afternoon I sometimes had a contraction and another one, then there was a long time of nothing, and then another one, and it was just kind of weird and annoying, and they were really irregular and not really strong. So, and then like more mucusy, bloody mucusy plug stuff came out. Around 5:30 p.m. I actually decided to take a bath with my daughter Luana. So I went into the bathtub with her. I was like, okay, either the contractions will start picking up after that bath, or they will die down, and well, we'll see. So I took a bath with her and actually really enjoyed it, because I was like, okay, maybe this is the last time I'm taking a bath with my only child, and I tried to enjoy it as much as I could. And around 7 p.m. we usually put her down for the night, and so we did her nighttime routine, and I was really hugging her really tight because I kind of had the feeling of like maybe this is the last time we will bring her to bed as an only child, and it kind of felt emotional a little bit. So we put her down and watched a movie, but the contractions were all over the place, nothing intense. I was just like so annoyed, so I stopped timing them because sometimes they were like an hour apart and then like 5 minutes apart, and then there was another hour of nothing. So I actually went to the bathroom then, and I felt down there how much I was dilated, and I was about like 3 to 4 centimeters dilated, and I could feel the head so low that I actually felt like I was sitting on the baby. And I was really at this point like, why is it not picking up? Like, I opened up so much already, the mucus plug is gone, and the head is so low. Why is it not going into consistent contractions so that the birth can actually start? At 10 p.m. we then decided to start our nighttime routine to go to bed, and when we laid down in bed, we looked at some pictures and videos on our phones of our daughter, and we're actually laughing and smiling and really happy and saying like, wow, we have such a beautiful daughter, we are so blessed. And all the laughing actually started some contractions, but I was just like, no big deal, they're not regular, so whatever. And then I actually kind of felt thirsty and decided to get one more drink, so I went into the kitchen, got something to drink, and noticed that we forgot to hang up our cloth diapers, and I asked my husband if he could help me quickly to hang up the cloth diapers before we go to bed. So we did that, and while we were hanging up the cloth diapers, I had 3 contractions that were actually really close together and pretty strong, so I had to breathe through them and couldn't continue hanging up the laundry. So I was just like holding, breathing. I was like, okay, they are more intense now, what is this? And my husband got really excited. He's like, so should we get everything ready? Should we put up the birthing pool and everything? I was like, whoa, hold up, we don't know if it's starting yet. We've had that for 3 days now, so don't give your hopes up. And I was like, well, maybe we can get all the other stuff ready around that, and then we will see, because it was by that time 11 p.m. So we put like the bowl for the placenta, scissors, towels, some sheets to cover the bed and everything. So we put everything on the cabinets, and he got really excited. I was like, well, when around 12 a.m. I told him, okay, well, you can set up the pool now. I think they're continuing, and maybe this is it. So he put something on the floor to cover the floor so it's protected, and then he had the pool ready and put the water in, and until everything was ready it was around like 12:30 a.m. and then I went into the pool for the very first time, but it was way too hot for me, so we took some pictures and I was like, okay, I have to get out, this is too hot for me. So I was standing on the side of the bed, swinging my hips, breathing, and I handled them really well this time. They were not too painful. I was really focusing on them, breathing through them, and kind of doing the hypnobirthing thing, but not really doing my own thing. Between contractions, we were talking, laughing, smiling the whole time, and it was just a really good atmosphere. We had some quiet music on, and we had the lights up on our bed, some string lights, and it was just it was a special time. And then around 1:30 a.m. I decided to go in the pool now because the contractions got a little more intense. So I went into the pool. We continued talking and laughing between contractions because I was able to handle them so well, especially with the warm water around me. And then there was this one time that I do not want to forget, and it was so special. During a contraction, I was closing my eyes, focusing on breathing, and so I was focusing on the contraction, closing my eyes, breathing through it, and then all of a sudden this really bright light turned on. And I kind of wondered, why did my husband turn on the big light? So I opened my eyes, and he did not. It was just the settle light of the string lights, and sorry. And there was no big light. And so I closed my eyes again, and then I felt this, like this hug of the light. It felt like this light was hugging me, and there was so much love and so much compassion and so much peace that this light brought. And it just felt amazing. I cannot describe it. There are literally no words to describe what I felt during that moment. It was just so special. And I just want to remember that. I did not have that with my first daughter. Maybe it was because I was too tired and in too much pain, but this time I just felt so calm all of a sudden and so peaceful and so loved, and I just knew everything's going to be all right, and this baby's going to be here in no time, and we're going to be a family of 4, and it's going to be great. And I had all these feelings. It was just amazing. I can't really describe it, but I want to remember that moment because it was so special. I can't even tell you at what time that was or anything, so I don't know, but it was really, really special. Yeah, and that continued until around 3:40 a.m. and all of a sudden I had a contraction that was so strong, so painful and so intense that I had lots of trouble breathing through it. And I was like, wow, this is getting painful. I don't know how much longer I can handle this. And so between the contractions, I got a little worried that I was not gonna make it to the end because I was in so much pain all of a sudden. And that happened for like 3 contractions. They were so intense and so painful that I almost started crying, like literally crying. I was talking to my husband saying, I can't do this anymore. This is so painful. I don't know how other women do it. And it was just way too intense. So I started feeling down there and I was fully dilated, but I could feel that the amniotic sac was still intact. This time, like, anyone who has seen my first birth vlog knows that I ripped the one with my first daughter, and I didn't want to do it this time. I wanted to have it to open by itself, or some babies are born on cowl, which means the amniotic sac is still intact when they are born. So I was like, that would be a cool experience, so I don't want to do it. But the pain got so intense that I was just like, holy I don't know how women do this. This is so painful, I can't handle it no more. So my husband was like, well, maybe you have to break it then, break your waters, and then it will get better. And I tried to do that. I was feeling a baby's head, and the amniotic sac was right on there, and I just couldn't get a good grip of it, and it was so robust, I just couldn't break my water. And then I had another contraction, the 4th contraction, and I was shaking. I was in so much pain that I was shaking, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. It has to break somehow. So I tried to do with like 2 fingers and my fingernails and pinched it and pinched it and pinched it. And then I felt some hair, baby's hair, and I was like, okay, now I broke my water. I'm good now. And then another contraction came, and it was bliss. I did not have any pain at all whatsoever anymore. And I was just like, this is amazing. The pain is gone. I literally don't know how women do it. And this is awesome. From now on, I can continue for hours. I'm good. That, of course, didn't happen, because then right after that, I felt lots of pressure down there. So I knew, oh, okay, we are going into the pushing phase. And then I remembered my midwife's voice, who actually told me, she was like, you ripped so badly last time. To prevent that, I asked you to not push the baby out. Do not push. Even though you want to, try to resist that urge and do not do it. Let the baby and your uterus do it by itself. So I remembered that, and I was like, I started pushing, and I was like, oh, nope, I'm not allowed to push. So I stopped immediately, and then I just felt how my baby was pressing down, how the uterus was contracting, and it was actually a really cool feeling. And so that happened 4 times, like 4 contractions, my baby was pressing down, the uterus was pushing down, and then I was feeling the ring of fire when the head was going through, and after only 4 contractions of not pushing, the baby's head was born. And I was so amazed that it actually worked, and I didn't have to do anything basically, just breathe through them and focus. And yeah, the head was out, and then immediately after that I felt a little turn and my baby was swimming into the birthing pool. And I just couldn't believe it that was it, because that was only like less than 20 minutes. It was 4 a.m. on the dot when the baby came out, and she was here. I was looking, it was a girl, and I was holding her, and I just couldn't believe how fast it went and how amazing it was. And then we looked at her, and she was the complete opposite of my big daughter. My big daughter is really pale and really bright blonde, and that baby had really dark skin and really dark hair, lots of hair again, really dark, and we were just really amazed how different those sisters looked. And then we were freezing. It was January, so that was January 19th in the morning, 4 a.m. And we kept opening the window because I was so hot and the air was just nasty in here. So it was quite cold in our room. So I asked my husband to help me out of the pool, and so I was stepping over the pool, and similar with this time than it was with my first daughter, as soon as I stepped over the pool, I felt that the placenta was coming out without pushing or anything. So I asked my husband to get the bowl, and he was holding the bowl underneath me, and then the placenta basically just fell into the bowl. I didn't have to do anything. And then we were laying down in bed, snuggling, getting dry and snuggling up in our bed because she was getting cold, I was getting cold. That was 10 minutes after she was born. That was at 4:10 in the morning. So my placenta came pretty quickly, and I felt really, really good after that birth. I was really surprised how good I felt, and I was just so happy how quick it went, how amazing this experience was. With my first daughter, it was quite intense. If you have not seen the birth vlog, maybe you want to check that out. It was really long, I was really tired, had lots of pain, and I ripped pretty badly after that, so my postpartum experience was not fun. I have to get my daughter. Yeah, this experience was totally different, and I just feel really blessed to have two healthy girls now, that I'm a mama, especially after our past, where we were not sure if we would ever become parents, and now we have two healthy little girls. Yeah, so that was my birth experience. She was born January 19th at 4 a.m. in the morning. We went to bed and slept a little bit, and then at like 7:30ish, my big daughter woke up, and we introduced her to her little sister, and she was so sweet, giving her kisses and like stroking her, like going like this, really soft, and it was just the sweetest moment. So we feel really blessed. I'm doing really, really well. The baby's healthy. We went to the doctors, and everything is like it is supposed to be. So we are really, really happy about that and enjoying the time as a family of four now. So yeah, I don't want to make it too long, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful rest of the week, and I will see you guys very soon in my next update. Bye guys.